Hello and welcome to the Invisible Man Show with me, Stephen. I hope you're well. Sorry for the delay in this. I did plan to get it out on Monday, but work things got in the way. But it's also good to have a day of reflection following the win. But first, I'd just like to say rest in peace to Ricky Hatton. Seemingly an amazing bloke, seems omnipresent growing up, whether that's the TV, the football, wherever that may be. I've met him once, seems a nice chap, and the thoughts go out to his close friends and family. I know Big Steve over on his channel put some great words together around this topic, as did Howard on the 9320 show. So go and have a listen to those if you can. They're really, really powerful words and pitched perfect. So yeah, rest in peace, Hitman. Yeah. Okay. So how was your weekend? Mine was quite quiet. Just looking forward to the game. I don't like the game being at 4:30. I want it quickly. I want it out of the way, sharpish. So I've not got all weekend to think about it. But 4:30 it was. So we get the team news in. I think we was in the ground. We got in the ground early, and again, I like to look at my messages that I sent at the time when the team sheet come out, and it simply said, "I like the team. Riley, yes." That was my instant reaction. I thought it had what we wanted to see in it. It had Kusanov in it. It had Donnarumma in it. It had O'Reilly in it. Although that was a bit of a shock. But if you decide Vardiol's going to go at centre half, then you don't really want to play Ake against United, do you? Particularly given his Spurs performance. We'll go on to individuals shortly. But yeah, very, very excited about the team. And good to see the youth players in it. I know we were concerned back in the last year that he's going to just keep playing the old guys. They seemingly have gone for the most part, whether that's Akanji, Gundogan, and so on. But yeah, it looked fresh and it looked good. So if we start with Donnarumma, I'll go through the team. I'll explain how I felt they played. A few thoughts around that, and then we'll have a bit of laugh about United at the end. And so Donnarumma in net. I don't think that was ever in doubt, was it? I was pretty confident that he'd start, and he filled the goal. I thought he's a very, very reassuring debut. I thought his save at first from Šeško was a bit weird, but I think that was just. I think he wanted to get involved, didn't he? He wanted to dive and get involved, but save from Bruno at the end, superb. And with his CV comes the ability to tell people like Diaz, Gvardiol, Rodri where to be, what to do. He's not shy, organised himself very well, didn't mess about when it comes to crosses. Bit of a mixed bag, but, when he knows he's coming, and he's coming, so you've got to take it from there. So very, very impressed with his debut. As for his distribution that people keep banging on about, forget it. He's not going to be Edison. No one is, so forget that. So let's just look at how he does with his hands, and that looked like a very, very good performance to start with, and hopefully he can build on that once he's with his teammates a little bit more. But no problem with his distribution for me. I don't think a couple went out of play, but I think quite a lot of players were doing that, to be honest with you. So I'm not bothered. I thought it was a great debut. I thought it was fantastic, and hopefully he can build on that, and away we go. Right back, Kusanov. I wanted to see him play. I thought he had to play. We needed his pace. We needed his aggression. I don't want him to tone it down. I just want him to do it a little bit further out than he tends to, because we've got the Brighton goal came from a free kick he give away, which, you know what, is a young player. I like a bit of aggression. He needs to be. We haven't got many aggressive players at the moment. So to see him look around and go, it's a bit quiet around here, I want to kick someone in the stands, I don't mind it, particularly against United. So no, very happy with him, very happy with his performance. I must say, I listened to ESPN yesterday, and that Ali Moreno, God, I'm sure they just base Kusanov's form and performance off the first 10 minutes against Chelsea in January. I mean, they're talking about how he can't pass the ball and how he's no good. I'm like, you either not watched it, not paid attention, or you're just being very, very lazy, or maybe all three, to be honest with you. I like Kusanov. I think his ball playing is as good as the next man's. I don't have a problem with it. And to hear people on TV, Gabs and Jules podcast as well, I'll come on to them later, they say something absurd as well. But they were saying that they don't want to see Kusanov in the team a couple of weeks ago. Why? Every City fan I listen to, speak to, want to see him in there. He's got the pace, he's got the aggression, and What's not to like? So far, so good. Take that first 10 minutes of the Chelsea game away, and we haven't got a problem, have we? And he's recovered really well from it. His second game was right back against Vinicius Junior. And he did well there. I really don't see what people outside of City have an issue with him for. It's just because they don't watch him enough, in my view. Diaz and Guardiola, yes, very good partnership. Hopefully they can build on that. And there's not a lot else to say, really. I'm just glad that Donnarumma, Diaz and Guardiola, between them, all got a clean sheet, and that's something we can build on and hopefully take to Arsenal. O'Reilly, left back, I thought he had a really good game. I know he gave the ball away a few times, but I think when you're playing an attacker at left back in a derby, high pressure, these sorts of things are the price on the ticket, I'm afraid. If you want a steady Eddie like Ake, go and play him. But what Ake won't be doing, he won't be nutmegging Luke Shaw and setting up the third goal, will he? Second goal, will he? So it's a price on the ticket, I'm afraid. And the more I see O'Reilly, the more I want to see him on the pitch. I thought against Brighton, I don't want to say he was out of his depth. I just thought it was just a poor choice of sub to bring him on, because he was never really going to rescue what was quickly turning into a dire situation in midfield. And I thought it was a little bit unfair of him, of Pep, to put him there. But to put O'Reilly at left back against United, I thought was excellent. And I thought he did really, really well on the whole, and hopefully, again, he can build on that. I don't expect to see him against Arsenal. I would expect to see him against Burnley. I'd play Ake against Arsenal, but we can talk about the Arsenal game later in the week. Rodri started, which I think we're all glad to see. We're glad to see him start anyway, but his performance, I thought, was a little bit iffy. But again, he's going to be. He's returning from a very, very serious injury. He's a year older. We don't have to get Ballon d'Or Rodri back. We just need to get normal Rodri back, and we'll be fine. But he's got to be eased in and see how it goes. I don't want to see him anywhere near the pitch. Certainly not the starting 11 against Napoli. 10, 15 minutes at the end to get some time in his legs ahead of Arsenal. But I don't want to see him playing the majority of the game against Napoli with then playing Arsenal as well. I think he needs to be eased in. Like he said himself, he's not Messi, is he? He's not Messi. So he's not just going to come in and all of a sudden magic us to be European and league winners again. So let's just take it easy, and hopefully he can get back somewhere near his best, because him at his best is the best midfielder in the division, and we don't want to be ruining that opportunity by unnecessarily risking him, and him then potentially receiving further injuries and further setbacks over the next 6 to 12 months. Next up, Reinders. What do you think of him? First of all, that run he made for their goal, Jesus Christ. Sorry, for our goal, Jesus Christ. What a run that was. What a pass from Haaland. What a run. The finish, he should have scored, shouldn't he? Let's have it right. He should have scored. But if we can keep it tight against Arsenal for the majority of the game, I can see that being an avenue to scoring and nicking one at the death there. That run, the power, he didn't need to make that run, did he? The game was up, more or less. But to have that power and to make that run was superb. Haaland's vision as well. So, yeah, hopefully he can be more accurate with his shooting if he gets the opportunity against Arsenal. But I thought he was a bit wet again. It reminds me of when Gundogan first started. I know people compare to Rodri, but no, I thought when Gundogan first came, he looked neat and tidy, but it looked a little bit wet and wasn't really up to speed. But then, we all know how that ended, and it was fantastic. So I don't have any major concerns, because he must know that he needs to pull his finger out. The coaching staff must know he needs to pull his finger out. Not pull his finger out like he's being lazy, but just to be a bit sharper. Be aware that you're not in Serie A anymore. You're in the Premier League, because if he gets caught on the ball against Arsenal are 10 times the team United are, and will likely look to punish us for those sorts of giveaways and turnovers. Hopefully that's not a problem moving forward. But yeah, no real concerns. Bernardo, played well, didn't he? I thought he had a good game. I thought his pass for Haaland was superb, and I don't think there's a lot else to say. It's a very mature sort of captain's display, I thought. Yeah, so yeah, we'll just leave that one there, because we've got the three main men to talk about now. Who shall I start with? I'll start with Doku. I said on my video with Julian, the United fan, the other day, that I can't stand him. And that's not personal. I can't not stand him because I don't like the guy. I'm sure he's a very nice guy, but I can't stand him in a way because he frustrates me. But when I got to the pub on Sunday, I had it in my head that he's going to have, if he can put it all together, he's going to have a great game. And he did. And he got near the box where he belonged. I don't think he's very quick, Doku. So when you stick him out on the wing, he might beat someone with a trick, but then he can't get into the box. He can't make the opportunity. But for Foden's goal, I thought it was superb. Although although I might be overly harsh here, maybe I am, maybe I'm not, maybe you can tell me in the comments below. I thought he should have shot before the first cross that got deflected, but then the awareness to knock it back to Foden was superb. I've watched that goal. I sit in the south stand, so I was right in front of it. Third tier of the south stand, so I was right in front of it. But the more I've watched it since, it's superb. City Tactics on Blue Sky put a video of right behind Doku as he taken on Luke Shaw. I mean, Luke Five bellies didn't stand a chance, did he? Didn't stand a chance. But with Doku's movement, yeah, we just need to see a bit more of it, don't we? A bit more of that. And the second goal as well. I mean, what was the Euro doing? United fans rave about this Euro. What was he doing? Far too tight to Doku and on the wrong side. It just seemed defending in my view. But nevertheless, Doku still had to do the business. He still had to beat the man. He still had to time his pass. And yeah, superb. So more of the same. If we can get those three, Foden, Haaland and Doku, and next to each other, linking up, then yeah, we've got every chance to go to Arsenal and turning them over, because Foden and Haaland know where the net is, obviously, don't they? Doku, if he plays like that, they'll be terrified of him. They'll be terrified of him. Yeah, here's to him, and hats off to him. I'll hold my hands up and say that yeah, I'm here to change my mind. I'm happy for him to change my mind. I don't think he's been up to it for 2 years, but if he plays like that for the next 6 months, 9 months, then where's the pen, and he can have a new contract, as far as I'm concerned. But it's early days. Let's see how we get on. Foden next. I'm saving Haaland till last. Foden next. Said on the preview video that I wanted to see him play, great opportunities, because he's one of the few players who knows where the net is. And to see him start and play like that and score that header, well, thank you very much, because I thought he was superb again. They couldn't get close to him. And again, similar to Rodri, we don't need Player of the Year Phil back, do we? We don't need that yet. Just normal Phil will do. Get him on the pitch, he'll score, right? He'll score and he'll create. And we need more of that. So hopefully he'll get an hour against Napoli, one way or the other, and we'll build on Sunday's performance with a view then to going to Arsenal and building on that further and turning them over, because I think Foden is one of the best players in England, one of the best English players we've got. I know it's not quite worked out at England level for whatever reason. Maybe it's the manager, maybe it's the environment. Who knows? I don't know. But get him fit and on the pitch, and as he proved over the last 5-6 years playing for us, he's superb. He's one of the best in the division. He won Player of the Year 18 months ago. All this talk of him being past it, and he's our Rashford and all the rest of it. A lot of cobblers. Get him on the pitch. Going back to the Gabs and Jules podcast, I listen to that from time to time. It's okay. But they asked, in all seriousness, Gabriel Marcotti asked Julian Laurent, who will have more minutes this season, Phil Foden or Ryan Cherky? Now, Ryan Cherky, I've got nothing against it, but he's some bloke who's come from the French league. He's already injured for 2 months and hasn't really shown anything, less a few good flicks against Wolves. Whereas Foden has a body of work that is up there with anyone. His medals, his performances, his goals, his assists. You could put that on the table against anyone's record in the country, probably in Europe. Never mind Cherky. So the idea that they're going to be sharing minutes is for the birds. Foden will be in the team and Cherky will get games or he won't. But I don't think I'll have anything to do with impacting Foden's minutes. I couldn't believe my ears what I was listening to. I couldn't believe it. Again, listen, I know Julian Ronzi's French and presumably has watched Leon more than me. So maybe this kid's brilliant, but he's got a lot to prove. And I don't think he'll be taking any of Foden's minutes really, unless it's in some cup matches. No. If there's an FA Cup final tomorrow, Foden will be playing. Simple as that. And we can debate whether Cherky will or he won't, but we'll leave that to others to discuss. But I just thought it was worth picking up and keeping an eye on, because I thought the line of questioning was absurd. But right, on to the main man, Erling Haaland. Oh, what a start! He nearly scored after what was that, minute? And I said that yesterday. I said that on Friday's video. I think it's Friday, wasn't it? On Friday's video, that we need to get flying into these. Previous derbies have always been, we fly into them early, we don't give them a sniff, we make them feel uncomfortable. We had a shot after a minute, 5 minutes later their keeper's dropping a back pass or whatever it was he was trying to do. So he didn't want to be there. Half their defence didn't want to be there. And for Erling Haaland, I said a few weeks ago that he should play like Richarlison a little bit more. And I know that gets it's a little bit wild, that. But I think watching his performance on Sunday, you get what I mean. Putting himself about. I mean, that his first goal when he beat Luke Shaw and his third goal. I mean, but what was Maguire doing? What was Maguire doing for that goal? Why would you leave the best striker in the world behind you with more than half a pitch in front of him between you and some goalkeeper who's no good either? I mean, I just thought from an experienced player, I thought that was bonkers. I'm going to come on to their manager and their team in a minute, but they're going to finish closer to Wolves than they are Tottenham. So it is interesting to see what we could potentially learn from that game. Maybe not a lot, but Haaland thought he was brilliant. I thought it was a 9.5 out of 10 performance from him. I knocked half off because of that open net he missed. I know it was a little bit trickier than it initially looked, but really, you're on the line there, mate. That needs to go in. But yeah, his work rate, his vision, like I said, for the Reinders opportunity was good, and that's the standard now, isn't it? That's the standard. That's it now. You can play like that. So carry on. Just do that again and again. So yeah, really, really pleased for him because I thought it was a captain's performance actually. I listened to his interview on the tram on the way to town on Sunday, and he's basically saying we need to get our asses in gear. And I'm listening to going, well, yeah, that's fine. And I know you've scored, but in this season, but let's see what you can do as well to lead the line and help the rest of your teammates. And I thought he did that on Sunday brilliantly. So yeah, hats off to him. Talk the talk all you like, but keep walking the walk like that, mate. Yeah, absolutely fantastic. I'm not going to touch on the subs primarily because I was a little pissed by the time they come on. I can't quite remember. Nothing really happened, did it? I mean, I know they had a couple of half chances towards the end. That was Buema chance, brilliant save from Donnarumma, and that Casemiro when he stuck his foot out, but he went wide anyway. So we weren't really bothered going into after the third goal. I thought it was a pretty dead game, really. I know we had a couple of chances, but I thought we were pretty comfortable. But United. I mean, even Gary Neville's give up with them. I was listening to his podcast on Monday morning. There's only so many times you can say the same thing. The system doesn't change. The manager says, Amorim, Jesus Christ. The manager says the system's not the problem. Well, what is that? Because there's three things as far as I can see. The system, the manager, or the players. Well, I'm going to assume he doesn't think he's the problem. So he said the system isn't the problem, so is it the players? Listen, they are turd. They are bog standard. That new centre forward they've got looks lightweight and nowhere near up to it. Never mind 70 million quid. He should be playing for Brighton or someone. Never mind for 40 million. Never mind someone for 70 who wants to get in the Champions League. So he doesn't look up to it at all at the moment. This manager's not a victim of circumstances. What do you think happens when you put Bruno Fernandes in midfield with Casemiro? Of course, people are going to run off the back of him. He's not going to run back. So what do you think is going to happen? You're going to concede goals by midfield players running off you. I mean, I think they're dreadful in every way. And I know Julian was on he sort of semi-agrees that the system's a problem. Some United podcasters think it's not the system, it's the players. I mean, well, I don't think the players are very good, but I don't think the manager's very good either. And the amount of time he talks about quitting and how it's just accepted that he can just say, I'm going to quit, or I might not, or I might stay. What did he say yesterday? If you want to change, I'm not going to change, which you'll have to change the manager or something. I mean, how many more hints do you want from this guy? Just give him his P45 and say, thank you very much. I mean, I don't know how they put up with him. I don't know why they're putting up with him. I think he's getting away with murder. I think he's a clown. But, long may it continue as far as I'm concerned. I don't see it in them at all. And what's that sub all about at the end of the game? So not at the end of the game, mid-game, take Euro off and bring on Harry Maguire. What's that going to do? And then, he plays Luke Shaw at centre-back. They're awful. I don't know what it is with him. I don't know. And again, there's only so many ways you can say the same thing. He's obviously out of his depth. Clearly, and I don't think he's long for United at all. They're talking about today in the Times apparently that Benfica's president is looking presidential candidate is looking to bring Amorim in to Benfica whenever his term starts. So goodness me, if I was United, I'd I think I'd be rigging that election or helping to rig that election to help him take them off his hands, because I think they're messed up big time. And that picture in the crowd of Radcliffe with head in his hands, it's on the thumbnail, head in his hands, Wilcox looking like he doesn't know if it's New York and New Year, Ferguson regretting that he even turned up, and Barada thinking, what were left City for to come to this mob? A picture paints 1,000 words, and I think the photographer needs a pay rise, whoever he is. So, yeah, I mean, long may it continue. I mean, they've got Chelsea next. I watched Chelsea against Brentford. Chelsea aren't very good. They're quick, but they're not very good. But they're better than them. And that goes to what can we learn? What have we learned from the game? We've learned that we can keep a clean sheet, which is good. We've learned that we can score multiple goals, which is good. But can we take a lot away from the United game? Well, I think if we get a clean sheet against Napoli, that's 2 clean sheets on the spin going into Arsenal away. I think that's the confidence that we need to be looking to build. Whilst United aren't very good, they've still got some players who can do a bit, haven't they? Fernandes can do a bit. The other one, and Bruno, can do a bit. The threat off set pieces. So we kept a clean sheet, which is good. We scored 3 goals, could have had 6. I mean, I was harking back to the days of bringing Mahrez and Alvarez on. If those 2 would have come on in the last 15 minutes, it would have been anything. Could have been anything. But we do lack goals, which is still a concern on the wings. But I think with Foden and Haaland, get them on the pitch, and we should be okay, particularly against Napoli. So yeah, I'll leave it there. It's been 23 minutes. Again, sorry for the delay, and I'll be back with a review of the Napoli game. I think I'll probably do that Wednesday or Thursday morning, and then Friday or Saturday for the Arsenal game. And I might do the Arsenal and the Napoli review in the Napoli review and the Arsenal preview in one, depending on how the Napoli game goes, and if there's much to talk about in that. But yeah, so thanks for joining. If you've got this far, thank you. Please don't forget to like and subscribe, share, and tell a friend, and tell a friend to tell a friend as well, because I enjoy doing these. It's good fun. So yeah, thanks for joining, and once again, my thoughts are with the Hitman's friends and family. Rest in peace, Ricky. Bye-bye.